Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blue Collar Gaming. This is Seth with the Magic series here, and we have a wonderful unboxing video here for you today. We have recently been set upon another secret lair, this time titled Stargazing, and this is focusing on the Theros original series gods. So we've got in these boxes all 15, I believe it is, of the original gods. Each box has at least one, or has a monocolored god and two additional dual color gods from the original Theros set. So I've got here with me the Theros Stargazing Volume 3 set, and we can see where it's all nice and boxed up here. And so we're going to bust into this bad boy and see what those cards look like. All right, so here we go. Get into this thing here. All right, and one thing that I really like about these secret lair boxes is these nice little cases that they come with. And all of the sets so far have come with this really nice black card holder, which is perfect for a sleeved commander set. I'm a big commander player myself, and I think this is the perfect size for a commander set. So we can see where it's got the Theros Stargazing Volume 3 Secret Lair Drop Series. So for those of y'all not looking along on the websites to see, okay, well, just what is Stargazing Volume 3? Volume 3 focuses, the monocolor god on this is Erebos, god of the dead. So this is the black god box. So let's get into this here. Nice and open. And here we go. Have the sets here. So we're just going to work this thing out here. And we'll set that over here. And here it's all nice wrapped in the plastic. So let's get into this here. How do we get it open? Okay, here we go. Pop this little bit off here. Open that. And here we go. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, so first up, we have Erebos, God of the Dead, and you can see it is nice and foily. Now, this series of the God cards is in the Constellation art, which was featured in the recent Theros Beyond Death set. So you could have gotten any of the gods from that set, could have popped up in this Constellation art. So they took the original gods and then applied that art to it as well. So we can really see here, you've got the outline of Erebos' horns here, the whip of Erebos wrapping around him. And really in this art, you can see how his body, the lower half of his abdomen is desiccated. It's decayed away. And then we've got the interesting, that looks like the death masks of Theros on his shoulder pads. Let's see, looking at the text here, indestructible as long as your devotion to as long as your devotion is to black is less than 5. Erebos is not a creature. Your opponents can't gain life. I can't tell you how great this card is against life gain decks. That just shuts it off completely, and it is, these god cards are hard to get rid of. And then we have the pay a black and a colorless, pay 2 life, and draw a card. So that gives you a little bit of a draw engine in black, paying 2 life, and then drawing a card. I also have with me here the original art for Erebos, so you can kind of compare them, and you can really see in this picture how his shoulder pads are the death masks from Theros. You can't really tell too much the desiccation of his body, maybe a little bit right in here in this gap in his toga. We'll go with toga. And then the massiveness of the whip. And you can very well tell on this card too. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus. There we go. On his whip here, we do have a skull. You can't really see that too well in the new printing. But yeah, so that is a really great card. I really enjoy this. So yeah, that's one. Now for all of you mill players, everybody loves a good blue-black mill deck. We have Finax, the god of deception. I can't tell you how much I like this card, because in blue-black, you got your big fat boys that you can turn into a mill engine. And the foiling on this is just fantastic. And even the way that that Finax is portrayed here, it's like he's got the pimp lean going, you know what I mean? Just kind of pop back. You can almost see a bar right there that he's resting on, like, hey, what's up? All right, so Finax costs blue, black, and 3. Indestructible. All the Theros gods are indestructible. As long as your devotion to blue-black is less than 7, Finax isn't a creature. Creatures you control have tap. Target player puts the top X cards in their library into their graveyard, where X is the creature's toughness. Again, turning those creatures that you have into a mill engine. This is fantastic with Consuming Aberration, because, you know, Consuming Aberration looks at the number of cards in all of your opponent's graveyard. That's how big he is. So, I mean, you could have a 30-30, 40-40, 50-50. I've even gotten Consuming Aberration up to be like a 150-150. Have Finax out, tap that bad boy, and that ruins somebody's game. So, and again, I've got here the original art here on Finax. I gotta say, I really like the original art on this card too. You get a good idea of how big he is. You've got the billowishness of his cloak, and the way that he's got his arm, his hand outreached here, and you can see just things circling. I don't know if that's birds or just debris or what it is, but he's making something happen. But yeah, Finax is a fantastic card. A lot of people that I know run Finax as their commander for a blue-black mill deck. I've done that in the past. He works okay as the commander. I actually find that Finax is better in the 99 than as the commander. I run a different card for my mill commander, Rexel. And he seems to do a little bit better, does more things, I feel like. But yeah, Finax outstanding for the mills. All right. And then finally, the last card in this set is Athreos, God of Passage. So this is, I mean, he really reminds me of the Grim Reaper. And he is who is guiding spirits into the underworld on Theros. I mean, look at him. I mean, doesn't he look like Grim Reaper here? I mean, you got the scythe here, the frayed cloak blowing in the breeze. But yeah, look at that. That is fantastic art. And the foiling on that is great as well. So we've got a white, a black, and a colorless, indestructible. As long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, he isn't a creature. So that's one thing between the dual color gods. So you can see that on Finax as well. If your devotion is less than 7, whereas on your monocolored gods, it's 5. So it takes a little bit more to get your dual color gods online, but once they're going, yeah, and they're just that much harder to get rid of. But whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. So this is great in a political match. Hey, you want to pay this 3 and let me return this to my hand? Or, you know, it's just great, especially with an Apostles deck, the Shadowborn Apostles. You know, when you sack all of the Apostles to go get your Demon card, bring them back to your hand unless the opponents want to pay that 3 life, and then you can just wash, rinse, and repeat, get that going again. We've got this great scythe here of his, and you can see where the constellation runs along the scythe. The eye of the scythe here is just one of the stars, so it really kind of makes it pop. Again, I have the original art here that we can compare it to. I think that's one thing that the constellations are lacking, is just being able to see the size of these gods. Whereas in the original art, you can really see, because, you know, we've got the ground here and you can see some water, some people right there. So you can't really tell the sizing of these gods, but still fantastic art on here. So. All right, so that is the 3 main cards here for the set. Now, one of the things about Secret Lair, and we talked about this in the Year of the Rat video, is Secret Lair has a secret layer, L-A-Y-E-R, to it, where they've been including the stained glass planeswalkers in this set. So you don't really know what you're going to get until, you know, people have figured out kind of what's in which boxes. We know in the Oh My God Kitties, I think everybody got the Johnny Planeswalker. Rats, I pulled a Ral Zarek, but there were 4 other, I believe, planeswalkers, or 3 other planeswalkers that you could pull out, and then when you looked at the spelling of the names of those planeswalkers, they spelled out rats, so there was 4 there. So not really sure what we're going to get, so let's take a look. And they've been kind of stickied in the bottom of the box, and when I pulled out the little sleeve thing that the gods were in, I could see it. So let's take a look real quick so we can see where it's just nestled there in the bottom of the box. So let's reach in and pull it out, and I'm going to try to pull it out so that I don't see what it is. Oh good, the glue dot on it stayed on the box. I had that problem with the Rats deck, or the Rat box, where couldn't really get the glue dot off. So what do we want this to be? So there's 3 colors that were featured in this box, black being the primary. So maybe we see a Liliana. That would be fantastic. I would take a Liliana Dreadhorde Commander. Obnixilis is black. Davril, the new Planeswalker from War of the Spark that was in the little novella. That would be fantastic. I don't know. There's also blue in here, so maybe we see a Jace. White, maybe Gideon. So I just don't know what it's going to be. So let's take a look. We're going to flip this around. So I'm going to flip it back so we'll be able to see it upright. So here we go. On the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. And it is a Davril, Rogue Shadow Mage. Again, from War of the Spark in the stained glass art. So we can see, and he's got his mask on that they talked about in that novella. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, Davriel Rogue Shadow Mage deals 2 damage to them. And then you can -1 him. Target player discards a card. He comes in with 3 loyalty counters. If you can get him to hang around, if you're making players discard their card, discard their hand, he could do some work. So nice art on that. And again, foily. See, we can see the foil on that. All right, so there we have it. That is your Secret Lair. Let me bring this up here a little bit. Drop Series Volume 3 featuring Erebos. Let's take a look one more time at those fantastic cards. So we have Erebos, Athreos, and Phoenix with the Pimpling. And then we've got our originals over here: Phoenix, Athreos, and Erebos. All right, well, I hope that y'all have enjoyed this video. Give us a like, give us a follow. Until next time, this is Seth with Blue Collar Gaming. Happy gaming, everybody, and be sure to smack your opponents for that commander damage. Y'all have a good one.